self sabotage. Self sabotage comes from what's unfamiliar. Human beings experience a natural resistance to the unknown because it is essentially the ultimate loss of control. This is true even if what's unknown is benevolent or even beneficial to us. Self sabotage is very often the simple product of unfamiliarity, and it is because anything that is foreign, no matter how good, will also be uncomfortable until is to also familiar. This also often leads people to confuse the discomfort of the unknown with being wrong or bad or ominous. However, it is simply a matter of psychological adjustment. Gay Hendrick calls this your upper limit or your tolerance for happiness. Everyone has a capacity for which they allow themselves to feel good. This is similar to what other psychologists refer to as a person's baseline or their sets predispositions that they eventually revert back to, even if certain events or circumstances shift temporarily. Small shifts compounded over time can result in permanent baseline adjustment. However, they often don't stick because we come up on our upper limits. The reason we don't allow those shifts to become baseline is because as soon as our circumstances extend beyond the amount of happiness we are accustomed to, we find ways, both conscious and unconscious, to bring ourselves back to a feeling we are comfortable with. We are programmed to seek what we have known. Even though we think we are after happiness, we are actually trying to find whatever we are most used to. Self sabotage comes from belief system. What you believe about your life is what you will make true about your life. That's what why it's so crucial to be aware of those outdated narratives and have the courage to change them. Maybe you have gone through the majority of your life believing that a standard 50k per year salary at a decent company is the most you will ever to be capable of. Maybe you have spent so many years telling yourself, I am an anxious person. You started to actually identifying with it, adopting anxiety and fear into your belief system about who you fundamentally are. Maybe you were raised in an close minded social circle or an echo chamber. Maybe you did not know that you could question or arrive at new conclusions about politics or religion. Maybe you never thought you were someone who could have great style, feel content, or travel the world. In other cases, your limiting beliefs might come from wanting to keep yourself safe. Maybe that's why you prefer to comfort of what you have known to the vulnerability of what you don't. Why you prefer apathy to excitement. Think that suffering makes you more worthy, or believe that for every good thing is in life, there must also be an accompanying bad. To truly heal, you are going to have a chance change the way you think. You are going to have to become very conscious of negative and false belief and start shifting to a mindset that actually serves you. How to get out of denial? Maybe this preliminary information about self sabotage resonates a bit, or maybe it resonates a lot. Either way, if you are here because you truly want to change your life, you are going to have to stop being in denial about your personal state of affair. You are going to have to get real with yourself. You are going to have to decide that you love yourself too much to stop settling for less than what you really deserve. If you think that you could be doing better in life, you might be right. If you think that there is more that you are here to accomplish, you might be right. If you think that you are not being your authentic self, you might be right. It does not serve us to use endless affirmations to place our true feeling about where we are in our journey. When we do this, we start disassociating and get stuck. In an effort to love ourselves, we try to validate everything about who we are, yet those warm sentiments never quite seem to stick, only ever temporarily numbing the discomfort? Why don't they work? Because deep down we know we are not quite being who we wanted to be, and until we accept this, we are never going to find peace. When we are in denial, we tend to go into blame mode. We look for anyone or anything to explain why we are the way we are. Then we start justifying. If you have to constantly or a near daily basis rationalize why you are unhappy about your life, you are not doing yourself any favors. You are not getting any closer to creating the lasting change that you so deeply desire. The first step in healing anything is talking full accountability. It is no longer being in denial about the honest truth of your life and yourself. It does not matter what your life looks like on the outside. It is how you feel about it on the inside. It is not okay to be constantly stressed, panicked, and unhappy. Something is wrong, and the longer you try to love yourself out of realizing this, the longer you are going to suffer. The greatest acts of self love is to no longer accept a life you are unhappy with. It is to be able to state the problem plainly and in straightforward manner. That is precisely what you need to do to continue truly uprooting your life and transforming it. It is the first step toward real change. Take a piece of paper and pen and write it down everything you aren't happy with. Write down very specifically every single problem you face. If you are struggling with finance, you need a very clear picture of what's wrong. Write down every debt, every will, every asset, and every bit of income. If you are struggling with self image, write down exactly what you dislike about yourself. If it is anxiety, write down everything that bothers or upsets you. You must first and foremost get out of denial and into a clarity about what's really wrong. At this point, you have a choice. You can make peace or you can commit to changing the lingering in what is keeping you stuck. The path begins right where you are now. If you know that change needs to be made in your life, it is okay. If you are far away from your goal or if you cannot yet conceive how you will arrive, it is okay. If you are starting at the beginning, it is okay. If you are at rock bottom and cannot yet see your way through, it is okay. If you are at the foot of your mountain and have failed every time you have tried to overcome it. Rock bottom is very often where we begin on our healing journey. This is not because we suddenly see the light, not because our worst days are magically transmitted into some type of epiphany, and not because someone saves us from our own madness. Rock bottom becomes a turning point because it is only at that point that most people think, I never want to feel this way again. That thought is not just an idea, it is a declaration and a resolution. It is one of the most life changing things you can ever experience. It becomes the foundation upon which you build everything else. When you decide you truly do not ever want to feel certain way again, you set out on a journey of self-awareness, learning and growth that has you readily reinvent who you are. In that moment, fault becomes irrelevant. You are no longer mulling over who did what or how you have been wronged. In that moment, only one thing guides you, and it is this: no matter what it takes, I will never accept my life getting to this point again. Rock bottom isn't a bad day, it doesn't happen by chance. We only arrive at rock bottom when our habit begins to compound upon one another, when our coping mechanisms have spiraled too out of control that we can no longer resist the feeling we are attempting to hide. Rock bottom is when we are finally faced with ourselves, when everything has gone so wrong. We are left to realize that there is only one common denominator through it all. We must heal, we must change, we must choose to turn around so that we will never feel this way again. When we have a down day, we don't think, I never want to feel this way again. Why? Because it is not fun, but it's also not unbearable. Mostly, though we are somewhat aware that small failures are a regular part of life, we are imperfect but trying our best, and that big discomfort will pass eventually. We don't reach a breaking point because one or two things go wrong. We reach a breaking point when we finally accept that the problem isn't how the world is. is it is how we are. This is a beautiful reckoning to have. Ayoji Avosika describes his own like this: you must find the purest form of being fed up. Make it hurt. I literally screamed, I am not going to fucking live like this anymore. Human beings are guided by discomfort or comfort. They stay close to what feels familiar and reject what doesn't, even if it's objectively better for them. Be this as it is. Most people do not actually change their lives until not changing becomes the less comfortable option. This means that they do not actually embrace the difficulty of altering their habits until they simply do not have another choice. Staying where they are is not viable. They can no longer even pretend that it is desirable in any way. They are quite honestly less at rock bottom and more stuck between a rock that's impinging on them and an arduous climb out from beneath it. If you really want to change your life, let yourself be consumed with rage, not towards others, not with the world, but within yourself. Get angry, determined, and allow yourself to develop tunnel business with one thing and one thing only at the end, that you will not go on as you are. Preparing for radical change. One of the biggest reasons that people avoid doing important internal works is that they recognize if they heal themselves, their lives will change, sometimes drastically. If they come to terms with how unhappy they are, it means that they will have to temporarily be more uncomfortable, ashamed, or scared while they start all over. Let's be clear about something. To put an end to your self sabotaging behavior absolutely means that change is on the horizon. Your new life is going to cost your old one. It's going to cost your comfort zone and your sense of direction. It's going to cost your relationships and friends. It's going to cost you being liked and understood. It doesn't matter. The people who are meant for you are going to meet you on the other side. You are going to build a new comfort zone around the things that actually move you forward. Instead of being liked, you are going to be loved. Instead of being understood, you are going to be seen. All you are going to lose is what was built for a person you no longer are. Remaining attached to your old life is the first and final act of self sabotage, and realizing it is what we must prepare for to truly be willing to see real change.